she came home.
Carlyle's lost an empire. You fall hard enough, you tend to be reminded of what truly matters. So, the end of the line. You ready for this?
Are you? Who will you be, without a score to settle?
I guess the world's most wanted fugitive will have to do.
Alexa Carlyle is dead.
Carlyle 死んだんだ。
According to the funeral invitation, that is. So naturally, it caused quite a stir when the late matriarch turned up at the breakfast table, alive and kicking. Carlyle, wisely sensing that her number is up, has emerged from exile to tie up loose ends and secure the Carlyle legacy. She may be a monster, but you have to admire her due diligence. Carlyle descends from an ancient line of warrior aristocrats. Her great-grandfather made a killing in the Second Opium War and established an empire in shipping, railroads, and newspaper publishing. While largely unknown to the public, the family still asserts its quiet dominance over global transport and logistics, media, and technology. Most senior of the partners, Alexa Carlyle, is cold as ice, tough as nails, and sharp as a razor. Incidentally, it was her late father who first brought the three families together after the end of World War II at this very house, meaning that this gentleman is the birthplace of Providence.
It began here, and it ends here. Talk about poetic.
One more thing. According to our intel, Carlyle keeps a case file on the Constant. Information that may be helpful in his recapture, so don't leave the estate without it.
Right. Happy hunting, 47. See you on the other side.
オッケー。はい、じゃあということで、家族の死やな、確か。カーライルをやりたいと思います。こいつ。ちょくちょくムービーで撮った強そうなおっさんじゃない、おばさんやな。で、やっぱロックピックやんな。ロックピック持ってないやんか。ね、これ。スノードームや。持ってねえじゃんか。じゃあしょうがない。これで行くしかない。難易度はプロフェッショナル。目的、カーライルをやる。OK。
Thornbridge Manor. The Carlyle family's home for countless generations. The Revenant Alexa Carlyle and her three adult children, younger brother Zachary, grandson, and daughter-in-law, are all gathered to conduct Carlyle's sham funeral. Curiously, Carlyle summoned a famous London PI soon after arriving this morning, but his purpose at Thornbridge is yet unclear. Now, the target knows that you're coming, and her guard detail is top-notch.
おー、知ってんのか。
So Mr. Gray will secure their nearby field HQ and intercept all calls going in and out of the estate. Any appeal for backup is going to fall on very deaf ears. Good luck, gentlemen.
OK。バイクで来ました。いいコートやな。すごいな。お化け屋敷みたいなとこ住んでんな。魔女みたいやな。はい、あそこにあるな。あ。あ、私立探偵に並走してんの俺は。そういうわけだね。
Mr. Whitmer is here to see Madame Carlyle. You can go right in.
That is Phineas Whitmer, the famous private investigator hired by Madame Carlyle this morning. I'm curious why he's here. Maybe you should do some detecting.
自分で調べた方がいいわね、47。調べましょう。アレクサ課題で呼び出された有名な私立探偵がソーブリッジマナーに到着したわ。彼になりすませばマダル課題に近づきますができるかもしれない。
A famous private investigator summoned by Alexa Carlyle has arrived at Thornbridge Manor. If you take his place, it may be an opportunity to get close to Madame Carlyle.
後つける、後つけてててー。あー、ごめん。あー、高い靴を汚してしまった。 助けていくしかないな。
Mr. Whitmer, thank God you're here. Can I take you to Madame Carlyle?
Please do.
If you follow me.
行こ
I know I oughtn't say anything, but I'm so relieved you're here. Everything's just so strange. Preparing for Madame's funeral, and then she turns up alive.
う。ほうほう
But
ほう。
then the awful business with her brother Zachary, and all this security. I've never seen the place guarded like this, and
まあ俺らが来る
I
から
dare say
な。
I don't like it at
分かって
all.
たやろ。だって行こう。あいつが通り過ぎっていうか、ここから行こう。さっ
Oh, by the way, I told Kate about this text.
What did she say?
Well, I thought she'd be mad at me, but
Carlyle inside.
thanks to me because she understood
Hi.
the position I was in. We had a really good talk about it.
What did I tell her?
身体検査。
That's a bit excessive, I think, considering the fact that I spotted no less than 2 routes to get inside the house unseen.
お、
We know what we're doing, sir. Don't worry about that.
2つあんの教えてくれ。
Caroline really did a number on you.
あ、あるやんか。中入った。ここには入っちゃう。変装したいけどな。あるかな、服。いや、こっち来る。こっち来ちゃうから、こうしといて。変装する、オッケー。今。オッケー。変装。玄関アレクサカーダイルにある。オッケー。
Mr.
おっとっ
Whitmer,
と。
thank you for coming on such short notice. A great tragedy has fallen upon us, and
Ah,
I need a
近いです。
quick resolution, handled with absolute discretion.
Results and discretion are my speciality.
Very well. I suppose you will want to start at the crime scene.
In my experience, a thorough examination of a potential crime scene is half the job done.
Good.
すごい
Fernsby
自
will
信や
take
な。
over from here.
ファーンズ
I am
ビ
Mr.
ー。
Fernsby, the butler. Madame Carlyle has asked me to assist you in any way possible.
はい。
Mr. Whitmer, I understand that you've travelled from London. Would you care for some refreshments? Or do you prefer to go straight to Mr. Zachary's sleeping quarters?
調
I
査開始し
prefer
よ
to get started.
As you wish. If you'll follow me, sir. I feel obliged to point out that current affairs surrounding Madame Carlyle are of a delicate nature. You may be familiar with the recent announcement of her death. You will probably learn that a staged funeral is scheduled to take place tomorrow. Madame's children were not informed until this morning that their mother was in fact not dead at all. So please bear with them if they seem affected by the rather unusual situation. I trust I do not need to remind you that there will be consequences if word gets out that Madame Carlyle is still alive.
う。そうやな。
I'll consider her dead when I leave.
すごいこと言うな。
Before
こい
you
つ
inspect the crime scene, I will tell you this. The case concerns the death of Mr. Zachary, Madame Carlyle's younger brother.
ザカリーが
He
死んだ
was
んや。
found dead in his bed this morning. The
弟
door
の
was
ザカリー
locked
が死ん
from
だ
the
んや。
inside, and a suicide letter was found
遺書が
in
見
his
つかっ
room.
ている。
However, Madame Carlyle suspects foul play and will not accept that he took his own life. I've prepared some information for you, so please do come and see me when you've finished your investigation of the crime scene. This is Mr. Zachary's room. To my right.
こっちか。
A locked room murder mystery 47.
密室殺人ミステリ
I
ー
trust you'll get to the bottom of this.
俺に真相解明できるんか。探偵じゃないからな。
Zachary's
なんやこれ。 遺書。ザカリー・カーライルの親切で見つかった遺書。過去のひどい選択とその破滅的な結果に苛まれている。アレクサは唯一救いの手を差し伸べてくれていた。彼女がいなければ生きていけない。さようならと書いてあり、ザカリのサインがしてある。筆跡サンプル。まあ、筆跡鑑定するよな。他のサンプルと比較すれば本物かどうか分かるかもしれない。はあ。ノートパソコン。すげえ、ノートパソコンにもレートレーシングついてんで。新しい長靴買っていた。まあ、自殺願望ある人がやるわけないやんな。痛い。死んではる。ちょっと待って。顔が見たい。
Throat markings indicate a rare, short-lived plant poison killed him.
珍しい植物を解く。反問の広い紙で死亡推定時刻か。すごいな。毒大好きやもんな、47。はいはい。これ何、椅子？なんかあったりする？ガードマンがおる。何？隠し扉が。なんで一発でわかんねん。一発でわかんのすごすぎるやろ。ほう。何だこれ。やめっぴ。秘密の赤い。うわ、マジックミラーや。これは隠し部屋や隠し通路の詳細が書かれたソーンブリッジマナーの見取り図。隠し通路の一つはザカリー・カーライルの寝室に通じている部屋。
Somebody's been researching the secret ins and outs of Thornbridge Manor. I believe you've done a thorough search of the crime scene, 47. Maybe it's time to see the butler. I'm curious about the information he's prepared for you.
そうやな。ここからも行けるんや。下におる。執事に会いに行く。どうやって下に行くんですか？あれどうやって下に行くんやったっけ？やべえ、方向音痴が。あ、わかったわかった。こっちや。ごめんごめん。こっちかな？はい、到着。よ。
Mr. Fernsby, I'm done with the crime scene.
Did you establish a time of death?
Zachary died around 10 o'clock last night.
Well, that means the staff were off duty. And Madame Carlyle and her security didn't arrive until this morning. That leaves Madame's family and myself as the only persons here when he died. And before you ask, no, I do not have an alibi. I was alone in my office at the time of death. Here's the material that I've prepared for you. It's a list of the possible suspects and their quarters. Hopefully that will help you keep track of your findings. Please come and see me when you've solved the case, and I will take you to Madame Carlyle. How's everything coming along, Elaine?
This is very useful information, 47.
うわー。やべえ。こいつ容疑者。カーライルの息子たち。ミスター・ファーンズビデオ、ザカリー・カーライル殺害の容疑者。オフィスで仕事をしていたアリバイはないと自ら明らかにしている。 過去疑いありって書いてあるでも。寝室。6個中5個を手がかかり発見。弟で、ソーンブリッジマナー12、ザカイの寝室。この部屋は式の2階に墓地に面している。6個中5個だけか。1、2、3、4、5、OK。ああ。
So how does one solve a murder mystery, 47? Motive, means, and
動機手段機会。
May I suggest you ask the
容疑
suspects
者
for
にアリバイを
alibis?
聞くか。
Or perhaps you prefer searching the manor for clues first?
まあとりあえずアリバイを聞こう。
Patrick
Patrick is
Carlisle.
giving you a really
Can
hard
you tell
time.
me where
You
you
deserve
were
better than that,
yesterday
Lawrence.
evening?
だから菅田将暉みたい
Shit,
な
it's that sneaky
な髪
butler,
型してる
isn't
な。
it? He ratted me out. Elaine, give us some privacy, would you?
OK。
Don't tell Mother, okay?
何
She's really tense these days, and the last thing I need is more hassle. I took that pretty blonde, Rosie, for an evening stroll. I mean, how the fuck am I expected to cope for an entire weekend in this shithole? I'm bored out of my mind. If that's all, I think I'll get back to my slow death by boredom.
What did you think
Zachary,
of
huh?
Zachary?
Creepy as hell. No ambition. Imagine deciding to live in a museum. You know, Father says Zachary and Alexei used to be two of a kind. He had a great future ahead of him. Then suddenly, he just gave up everything. What an idiot. Thank God Daddy chose looks and brains over pedigree when he married Mummy. I don't have to worry about the inbreeding so customary in these circles. So, is that it?
Did you see anything suspicious last night?
No. I reckon Zachary topped himself. I know I would have.
いや、自殺はありえないん
Or
です
perhaps
よ。
Mr. Fernsby. I don't like him. He could have done it.
なんか感情的やな、こいつ。パトリックはザカイの集合塾、ロージーという名のスタッフと一緒にいたと承知している。ザカイについては気味が悪い、何の野心もないと思っていて、将来を約束されていたのに全てを捨てて引きこもっていたと言っている。最後にザカイは自殺かそうでなければミスター・ファーンズビーがやったかもしれないと付け加えている。ロージーと話してみる必要があるな。ロージーって誰や？金髪の
Just remembered I went for a stroll behind the greenhouse last night. Maybe that's where it is.
What is?
My lost button. The one you couldn't find at the graveyard. Wouldn't it be a good idea for you to go and look for it? Now?
A good idea. Yes.
うん。ロージーちゃんはどこにおるかな？ここは？何やここ、石鹸。
Patrick talking to Madame Carlisle's daughter. Rebecca? Yes. She's insistent, that one. She kept asking all kinds of questions. Who had the other one? Why I gave it to her, that sort of thing. You did make sure she didn't see you give the other one to the butler?
Oh, of course.
なんや。ボディーガードの話によると、レベッカと主人のファーンズビー、それぞれ1枚ずつ、ミルトン・フィッツパトリック銀行のトークンを渡されているらしい。2枚を合わせると、それを所持する者は銀行の貸金庫にアクセスできるようになる。この金庫には、アーサー・エドワーズのケースファイルの写しが入っているとみられる。へえ。ファーンズビーって。あ、なるほどね。あ、
Rebecca
Alibis.
Carlisle. Can you tell me about yesterday evening?
We don't really see much of each other, my brothers and I. I suppose it takes our mother's funeral to bring us together, and even then, it's not like we sit on each other's laps. Now, let's see. Patrick, Gregory's son, disappeared straight after dinner.
パトリックって誰やったっけ？パトリック。こいつや。
You know,
姿
I
を消
think
した。
he might be in some
トワイ
sort
ブ
of
に
trouble.
巻き込まれてる。
Edward
ロージ
wanted
だっ
to
たん
go
や
as
ろ。
well, but Gregory convinced him to stay for a few drinks before they went off for a pint at the local at 8:45.
近くのパブに行ったわ
I。swear Gregory enjoys Edward's discomfort over staying here. I had a conference call with my New York office at 9, so I spent 3 hours on my laptop in my room and went straight to bed afterwards. I don't know about Emma. She did act a bit strange.
今の様子が変やった。
You know, I bet she was making lists for changes needing to be done once she gets her hands on Thornbridge Manor. Quite the shock she had when Mother arrived during breakfast. Is that everything, Mr. Whitmer? I do have a lot to see to.
Okay,
tell me about Zachary. Did he act strange last night?
You know, now you mention it, he was a lot more chatty than usual. He wanted to know about my connections in the publishing business. Apparently, a friend of his is writing a book, which strikes me as very peculiar. I didn't think he had any friends. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
Anything else you feel like mentioning?
I may be wrong, but I saw Mr. Fernsby, the butler, leave Zachary's
みんなファンズ
room early
ビー
this
さんお
afternoon.
かしいって思って
And he
るな。
seemed a bit startled when he saw me in the hallway. It's probably nothing. Oh, and one more thing.
もう一つ
Please be kind to Edward. He can only take so much.
エドワード。あのエドワードね。アレクサ・カーライルの末娘、レベッカ・ザカリー・カーライル殺害の容疑者だ。レベッカはパトリックが昨夜の夕食後にどこか消えて何かをトラブルに巻き込まれているかもしれないと言っている。エドワードとグレゴリーは屋敷で数杯飲んだ後、地元のパブへ行った。山の様子が変だったが、その夜をどう過ごしていたかはレベッカは知らない。ザカリの死亡時刻には、レベッカ自身は自分の寝室でノートパソコンを使ってオンライン会議をしていたと言われている。ザカリはいつもより口数が多く、ある友人の代わりに、レベッカに出版業界でのコネについて尋ねてきたと付け加えている。最後に今日の午後、執事のファーンズビーがザカリの部屋から出てくるところを、で、見たということ？消えちゃってるやん。やっぱそれぞれの、でも見るべきやな、部屋。虎の標本エドワード。
How's it going?
こいつは違う。ごめん。
Excuse me, can you get out of my face, please?
ごめん。
Play funeral and then show up like nothing's the least bit strange.
めっちゃ切れてる。
Get your knickers all twisted.
I'm telling you, she's not fit to be in charge anymore.
グレゴリー。
Gregory Carlyle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Oh, you're wondering about my alibi, Mr. Detective. Well, I left Thornbridge around 8:30 for a pint with Edward. I wish I hadn't. Quiz night at the inn. On the other hand, staying here with Zachary, my obnoxious sister, and the wife sporting another one of her headaches would have been a fate worse than death. The short of it, Zachary was very much alive when we left. I stayed for the last shout, and I was back here just before midnight. Anything else you want to pry from my intricate intellect?
Tell me about Zachary.
Zach? Huh. Such a sad old sod. A bit heavy on the bottle. But who could blame him? The only company he had was his rare plants and mother, who travels more than she stays here. Honestly, I can't say which is the bigger bore. He's better off dead.
Whoa,
Is that all? Not very.
Anything else you'd like to tell me?
Nothing really.
なんもない。
I'm just enjoying the show. Our perfect mother obviously fucked up, didn't she? Faking her own death. You know, she's explained nothing to us. I think she's scared to own up to her own mistake.
なるほど。あなたはエマ。
Can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Surely I'm not a suspect.
I need to account for everyone.
Well, I spent the evening with my family, but I got an awful migraine and had to take to bed. Everyone can attest to that. I believe I went up when the boys sat down for a drink around 8 o'clock. Anything else you want?
How did you feel about Zachary?
I might as well be honest. His presence was always
みんな
awkward.
ザカリ嫌いやっ
But
た
how do
よ
you
な。
have a meaningful conversation with a man who only cares about plants? In my opinion, Alexa bears some responsibility for how this ended. She supported his self-limiting behavior by letting him live here. Is that all?
Have you noticed anything else out of the ordinary?
Nothing special comes to mind. Except, perhaps, I did get a feeling that
落ち込んでいる。
Zachary was
落ち込んでる。
depressed, not just sad. I suppose he realized that he had no one with Alexa gone. Even Alexa must feel the pangs of guilt over that one, letting him believe she was dead. Then again, guilt isn't her strong suit.
なんか食い違ってるのは落ち込んでるの。この人は落ち込んでるって言ったザカリのこと。で、レベッカやったかな。レベッカはなんか、いつもより口数が多くてなんか、テンション上がってたみたいな感じで言ってるけど、なんか食い違ってるのはレベッカとエマのザカリの様子。あとは、すごい。おお、この人はエドワード・カーライル。ちょっと、ピアノやめてください。くそー、いつまで弾いとんねん。あ、終わった？あ？終わった。
Professor Edward Carlyle,
教授。
can you tell me your whereabouts for last night?
Oh, yes, this dreadful business with Zachary. I stay at the local inn. You see, I prefer not to spend the night here at Thornbridge Manor. My brother Gregory came along for a nightcap. He'd never admit it, but I think he understands that I find this whole thing upsetting and wanted to provide some comfort. I believe we went to the Stag's Head around 8:30. If that's all, I have a speech to write.
Can you tell me about Zachary's behavior last night?
I certainly didn't expect him to commit suicide. Sure, he was upset by Mother's supposed death. We were. But he seemed more engaged than usual. You should ask Rebecca. They had a long talk. Did you know that he hadn't left Thornbridge Manor in nearly 50 years? His plants, Mother, and the staff, all the company he had. Anything else I can do?
Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary?
You mean apart from the fact that we came here to bury our mother and she shows up alive and kicking? Zachary found dead in his bed this morning, or perhaps that the planned funeral is still taking place and I have to do the eulogy. And Mother will surely have strong opinion on it afterwards. I can't breathe. Excuse me.
レベッカが怪しい感じかな。この人とさっきの女の人はザカリのことを共通して落ち込んでるって言ったけど、レベッカだけテンションがおかしかったって言ってるし、テンション上がってたって言ってるし、あと容疑者はあとアリバイ確定やな。ほら、ザカリーとグレゴリーとエドワードは飲んでいたということで、まあ、2人の意見共通してたから一緒に飲んでたっていうふうに言ってたから、まあこいつらアリバイ確定で犯人ではないと。で、あとはこの4人がまだ怪しい。まあ、レベッカかエマで、もうちょっとで、金髪のロジーナやったっけな、あの人と話したいけど話せんのかな。てか、それか部屋を調べるかやな。部屋調べるか。ファーンズ B さん。2階やんな、大体。
Hello there, sir.
That is the door to
ここが
Rebecca's
レベ
room.
ッカの部屋。多分隠し扉あるんちゃうかな。ないかな。レベッカの部屋に行きたいけど、ここから行ける？オッケーオッケー。怖ー。 通り抜ける。はい、じゃあパソコン触ってたか見ましょうね。どうや？あ、アリバイ確定した。アレクサはカーライン、カーライン、多分やかりで。ちゃんと、これ消えてんの気になるな。ほら。やっぱちゃんと会議してたってことやから、まあ、アリバイ確定したってことや。レベッカは犯人はありえない。動かすと、隠し扉。
Jr. calling from Morgan
Morgan
Yates
Yates
Cone. I need to
no.
get a listing of asset transfers from the Carlisle account HTC depot number 5085. No, I need it immediately. Yes, I'll hold.
なんや。
Yes, I'm still here. Right. I'll double check and get
不
back.
法侵入になるんや。ちょっと調べてみようかな、ここ。ちょっと調べてみましょう。弁護士。あ、なんかターゲットが取ってる。ピストル。これは調べよう。なんや。マダム・カーライルから全てを盗んだことを確認。弁護士のノートパソコン見つかったファイル、アレクサ・カーライルがストーンブリッジマナーを含む財産が管理できなくなったことを示している。おー。
Perhaps you should let her know how bad it is, 47.
誰に知らせるって。アレクサ・カーライルに知らせんのか。びっくりした。俺の家のアレクサが反応した。だから嫌やねんな。カーライルの、ターゲットのカーライルの方の名前の上の名前言うの嫌やってんな。絶対あるんですから。入れた、オッケー。いっちゃえ。で、なんか拾ったな、さっき。レベッカ・カーライルが在留している部屋にあったノート・カーライルいくつか財産。筆跡はザカリーの秘書と一致しない。やっぱレベッカは違うと。残る容疑者は3人。エマとパトリック。で、また秘密の部屋。なんかあったりするここ。ないな。ないわ。カメラ。これ何これウイスキー。ウイスキー高に辛いのベッド脇にウイスキーのガラスとボトル。へえ。ウイスキーに毒が入ってたとかそういうわけではない。 こあれか。ザカイの部屋やった。あら、あら、何してるんですか。ごめんごめん。この人違うかな。おばさんやから違うんかな。違いそうやな。エマとグレゴリーの部屋。わかんないじゃん。わかんねえから、こっちから行く。すごいな、しゃがんでシャッと移動するの。怖くてできひんよ、俺。入れる？入れる？はい。いい部屋やな、ここも。オッケー。ここには何があるかな。母親からの手紙。エマとグリゴリーが滞在している寝室で見つかったエマの母親からの手紙。手紙にはエマの父親がアレクサとザカリーの長兄、子モンゴメリー・カーライルであること、妹たちに殺されたことなどが書かれている。殺した2人は、エマの母親が身ごもっていたことに気づいていなかったようだ。なんてエマとグレもう一回よ。妹たちに殺されたこと？
This is interesting, 47. A letter from Emma's mother stating that Emma is the illegitimate child of Alexa's late older brother, Montgomery. And listen to this. She claims to have witnessed Alexa and Zachary murder him. The plot thickens.
ここ行ってきた。エマがめっちゃ怪しくなってきたんやな。何これ。温室の鍵のキーチェーン。ザカリー・カエライルが珍しい植物を育てていた寝室。温室か。温室は屋敷の裏庭の奥の端にある。珍しい植物ってどこなんちゃう？もしかして。ちゃうか？何これ？また爆発させれそうやな。あ、何やこれ。ヒール。何やこれ。エマとグレゴリーの部屋に見つかった靴と足跡。何この足跡。ちょっと待ってな。容疑者どうなったこれで。インテル。エマとグレゴリーの部屋。やな。もう一個ある。杖。この杖はなんや。まあなんやろう、なんかあるんかな。オッケー。